These days do come, don't they? Bless your heart. From the prophetic book of the prophet Jeremiah. For your consideration, the 20th chapter. We would like for you to note the 7th through the 9th verses. Jeremiah chapter 20. Jeremiah chapter
20.
Jeremiah chapter 20, beginning at verse number 7, concluding verse number 9. When we all have it, say amen.
Amen.
These words are recorded, O Lord. Thou hast deceived me, and I was deceived. And thou art stronger than I, and hast prevailed. I am in derision daily. Everyone mocketh me. For since I spoke, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil, because the word of the Lord was made a reproach unto me, and a derision daily. Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. But his word was in my heart, like a burning fire shut up in my bones. And I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. I want to talk about when quitting is not an option.
All right. All right. It's not an option.
It's not
an option.
An option.
All right.
Brothers and sisters, as one who has traveled across the diversities of this life and has experienced much.
All right.
I have become acquainted with the physical act of quitting.
All right.
As a little boy growing up in the city of Chicago, I was privileged to go to downtown Chicago and take jiu-jitsu lessons.
All right.
Only to come to the conclusion at the end of quitting.
All right. All right.
I remember taking the Hoster Street bus south, getting off at 35th Street, going up into my karate class, and after due course of time, at the conclusion, I simply quit.
All right. All right.
I remember as a little boy traveling by public transportation to the Catholic Youth Organization, where they were teaching us how to box. And over due course of time, at the conclusion, I simply quit.
All right.
I remember as a 10-year-old boy in 6th grade, going out for the wrestling team at my school and making the team. But over the due course of time, I simply quit. And so as one travels this life, I am acquainted with the physical act of quitting.
All right. Amen.
Because I am acquainted with it, I understand the psychology behind quitting.
All right.
The psychology behind quitting simply suggests that you don't have to do whatever it is you don't want to do.
All right. That's right. Amen.
You don't have to put up with anything that you do not want to put up with.
All right. Amen.
And so because of the mentality, the mindset, the psyche of thought that goes into quitting, I discovered that not only was I a quitter, but there are a lot of people who are quitters.
All right.
I wish I had I wish I had a witness.
Amen.
As I survey the land of humanity and look at men and women across our globe, see those who have jobs, but for some reason, the psychology of their mind has brought them to the conclusion of quitting.
All right. All right.
As I look at men and women in the midst of their relationships and see the deterioration, the complaints that erupts out of their mouths, I am acquainted with the psychology of quitting.
All right. All right.
Even when I look, brothers and sisters, at our children as you raise them, as they experience life, at some point in the midst of raising them, they simply won't quit.
All right. All right.
When I looked even in the Lord's house, and I thought the Lord's house would be much different.
All right.
Because in the Lord's house, they teach you to stay with the Lord.
All right. Amen.
Do I have a witness here?
All right.
In the Lord's house, they teach you to be steadfast and unmovable and always abounding in the work of the Lord. But what I discovered through my personal experience, there are many who travel through the Lord's house who have the same psychology of thought.
All right.
And so they
Quit. All right.
The difference between those who quit in the world and those who quit in the Lord's house is that those in the Lord's house usually lie to themselves.
All right.
And instead of saying I quit, they say I'm moving on.
All right. All right.
As if there is a better place. I wish I had.
All right.
I wish I had a witness here. Because if there is a better place, I'm quite sure they will never find it.
All right.
Because
All right.
here's when one takes an analysis of our lives and the lives of those who have so-called moved on, what you discover is that it's not no better than it was before they.
All right. Amen.
I discovered that the reason that possibly may be so is because God does not reward quitters.
All right. Amen.
Did you
All
hear
right.
what I'm saying?
Amen.
God does not reward
Quitters.
I wish I had.
All right.
I wish I had some help here.
Amen.
God does not reward
Quitters.
quitters.
Amen.
If you want the Lord to reward you, then you have to stay in the race.
All right.
You have to remain faithful. You have to remain loyal. You have to remain committed. Come on, talk to me.
Amen.
Somebody here. And so I became acquainted with the psychology of those of us who actually quit.
Amen.
That psychological thought was in the mind of the prophet Jeremiah.
All right.
Because Jeremiah's heart had been fractured, it had been broken by the fact that although he was proclaiming the word of the Lord, it was the people of the Lord who was not listening.
All right. Amen.
I don't believe you hear what I'm saying.
All right.
Let me get that to you again, because that's y'all. Even though he was proclaiming the word of the Lord, the people of the Lord was not listening.
All right. Amen. Amen.
I think I should get that to y'all again, because y'all still.
Go ahead.
Y'all act like the sun is in here. Even though he was proclaiming the word of the Lord, the people of the Lord was not listening.
All right. Amen.
And I've experienced that kind of scenario on a frequent basis. Because while there are liars, people in the church who suggest that you preach the word, they're really not listening.
All right.
Because whenever the word of the Lord goes forth, it's not just something to think about, it is a life altering. I wish I had.
Amen.
I wish I had a witness.
All right.
I submit to you, and I've been trying to tell you that a lot of things that's negative in this world and in your life has nothing to do with an individual.
All right.
But it has to do with the fact that sin, which started with Adam, has escalated and deteriorated every living thing.
Amen.
Y'all not hearing me.
All right.
But continuously, there are many who comes to the Lord's house who are still on the bandwagon of blaming individuals.
All right. All right.
One looks at our government shutdown, folks want to blame Congress. When you got to understand, sin has affected the mind.
All right. Go ahead. Amen. That's That's right.
Sin got us thinking that we're right.
All right.
I wish I had.
All right. Amen.
I wish I could talk to somebody.
Go ahead.
Sin got us thinking that we're right, even when we're wrong.
All right. Amen.
I wish I had some help here.
Amen.
And that's why, brothers and sisters, we no longer admit to our faults.
Amen.
Never apologize for anybody we have hurt. Because sin got us thinking that we're right.
That's right.
I wish I had.
Amen.
I wish I had a witness here.
Amen.
Jeremiah tried to tell his people, the people of the Lord, that because of their sin, y'all not hearing me.
Go ahead.
Y'all really don't want me to do the rest of this.
No, go ahead.
Y'all just want me to close it, don't you?
Go ahead.
Can I go? Sure, right now. Just get to that part. Jeremiah tried to tell the people of the Lord that because of their sin, God would chastise them.
All right.
Because God cannot just sit back, watch his people sin, and do absolutely nothing.
All right. All right.
Did you hear what I'm saying?
Amen.
If he did that, he would not be a God of justice.
All right.
I wish I had a witness here. Furthermore, if God did that, he never would have had to send Jesus.
All right.
To be a scapegoat for us.
All right. Amen.
I wish I had.
Amen.
Y'all not talking. I got hearing problems. I can't hear y'all. And so Jeremiah tried to tell his people that because of their sin, that God would chastise them. Now listen, because of sin, the people of God thought they were doing right. Even when they were doing wrong.
All right. All right.
Now look, listen, they should have known they were doing wrong, but so should we.
All right. Amen. Amen. All right.
Do I have a witness here?
Amen.
They should have known that they were doing wrong because, number one, God had already specified in the Decalogue that thou should have no other gods before me.
Amen.
And one of the problems with the people of Judah and the people of the Lord is that they were worshiping other gods.
Amen. All right.
So one would have thought that they would have knew
right from wrong.
That they were doing wrong. Come on, talk to me.
All right. All right.
But again, I remind you, sin is intoxicating.
Amen.
Yeah, it's stronger than cocaine. Got more firepower than heroin.
All right.
Sin make you think you're doing right. Even when you're doing wrong.
All right.
And so they could not see that their worship of other gods was upsetting the God of Israel.
All right. All right.
Wish I had a witness here.
Amen.
The other thing they were doing, they were mingling with other nations. It was because of their fellowship. Well, let me put it in y'all terms. It's because church folks are fellowshipping with non-church folks.
All right.
That church folks act like non-church.
All right. Amen.
And because they were fellowshipping with these other nations, that too upset God.
All right.
When God had told them, be ye separate.
All right.
Wish I had.
Go ahead. All right.
I wish I had a witness here.
Amen.
I know non-church folks are your friends. They're your brother or your sister, your uncle, your cousin, your mother or your father. And blood is thicker than water. But hell burns up everything. All
right.
And so God, because he was chastising his people, allowed their enemies to attack them.
All right.
And Jeremiah tried to intercede for the people because Jeremiah had a great love for the people.
All right.
Wish I had.
All right.
Wish I had a witness here.
Amen.
He had a great love for the people because they were his people.
All right.
He had been raised among them. He belonged among them. He knew them. He had a great love for the people. And he saw the wrath of God coming when nobody else did.
All right. All right.